We'd have some breaking news, and this comes a day after a difficult couple of days on Capitol Hill in both the House and the Senate for Kristi Noem, the Homeland Security Secretary. She is being replaced. Senator Markwayne Mullin is now going to take over her job. The president making the announcement on Truth Social just a short time ago. He writes, quote, "I am pleased to announce that the highly respected United States Senator from the great state of Oklahoma, Markwayne Mullin, will become the United States Secretary of Homeland Security effective March 31st of this year. The current Secretary, Kristi Noem, who has served us well and has had numerous and spectacular results, especially on the border, will be moving to be Special Envoy for the Shield of the Americas, which is a new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere that they're announcing on Saturday at Doral in Florida. The president says, "I thank Kristi for her service at Homeland." So this comes amid reports that the president was none too pleased about the advertising campaign money that came to light during these hearings, Sandra. And so just in the last 24 hours, we've heard a lot of rumors that Markwayne Mullin may be tapped for DHS, and now it appears the president has made that decision, and that's going to happen at the end of the month.
Listen, and I'm glad she got fired. Kristi Noem has been absolute dog shit as the DHS secretary. She has been absolute dog shit. She has done nothing but, and I don't want to call it a sabotage, because I don't necessarily think that she was trying to sabotage the president, but this is one of President Trump's most popular policies when it comes to immigration and deporting people. And ever since she's been in control of the DHS as the DHS secretary, she has done nothing but make the administration look bad, where Donald Trump has lost a lot of favorability with the American people. She's fucking some guy that she shouldn't be fucking, even though she's married. She wanted that guy to work for him. I can't remember the dude's name. She wouldn't deny it during the hearing. She's spending money on ads, and the people that are getting kickbacks are her friends for those ads that she's taking out for the DHS. Like, she's basically doing like presidential campaigns as DHS secretary. She's coming out, and while I disagree, and you guys know I made videos on this. And listen, before we even get into all of that, I want to apologize. I know I'm a little bit late on this. The news came out pretty much Thursday night. I made it short, and I said I would cover it on Friday, but I didn't have time, and I was going on a retreat over the weekend, and I just didn't have time to cover it. And I'm getting to it now. But anyways, even though you guys know that I disagreed with Alex Purdy and Renee Good, and I said I didn't care that had happened to them because they were out there looking for trouble. And while that's tragic that happened to them, I didn't feel bad. While I said that, I don't think it was right for her to come out and call them domestic terrorists without even doing any sort of preliminary investigation. She was just making the Trump administration look bad. And so I'm glad she got fired. She has not been doing a good job at all. At all. Now she's been technically not fired. She's been moved to another position in some other initiative that Trump is starting now, where he's partnering up with Latin American countries to target drug cartels and drugs coming across borders and stuff like that, which I think is good. But I think that the reason that he did that was because he didn't want to give the media a win. He didn't want the media to say things like, "See, we got him to fire her. We got him to fire her." So he moved her to another position. So she's still technically within the administration. So I do not understand, and I'm going to play for you guys in just a minute, leftists celebrating this. And I'll tell you why I don't understand them celebrating this. It's two reasons. Because one, she was technically fired from her position, but she's still in the administration. And two, it's not like the job stops because she got fired. Somebody else is taking over. And the guy that's coming in knows what the fuck he's doing. So what exactly are you celebrating about? And do you really think that it was you guys who got Trump to fire? You think Trump gives a shit about what you guys think? Trump doesn't care. But again, I'm glad he fired Kristi Noem because she's been dog shit. I don't even know why he picked her for his cabinet, because she was already not liked by the American people because of she, for some reason, decided it was a smart idea to talk about in her book how she shot a dog when she was a fucking kid. Like, who does that? Even Republicans were pissed off at her for that. Like, who does that? And granted, she was a kid and she said it was a mistake or whatever the case may be, but people don't play about their, especially not their dogs in America. So she was already very well not liked. She was very unliked. And then she was chosen for this position, and all she did was make a popular Trump administration position unpopular by the way she handled things. Notice how when, what's his name? The border czar, I can't remember his name right now, Tom Homan, took over the stuff in Minneapolis, everything all of a sudden calmed down because he was about doing his job and not about theatrics. He wasn't about playing these over-the-top games and calling Americans domestic terrorists because they were doing something that you didn't like. And granted, while I do agree that Renee Good and Alex Pretty should have been arrested for what they did, I don't think that they were domestic terrorists, and I don't think that they should have gotten shot, but I don't give a shit that they got shot. Those are two distinct things. I don't think they should have got shot, but I don't give a shit that it happened, because why were you out there looking for trouble? But my point is, every time something bad happened, Kristi Noem made it worse.
Yeah, there was some reporting leading up to this that this could be the case. No confirmation had been made by the president himself until now, but there was reports of frustration inside the White House over some of the actions taken on the part of Kristi Noem. Looking at the announcement, though, and looking at the touting President Trump does of Markwayne McMillan's record, 10 years in the U.S. House of Representatives, 3 in the Senate. The president says he's done a tremendous job with the people of Oklahoma. As the president pointed out somewhere, he did very well. So obviously this is breaking news. Just now, President Trump making the formal announcement that that DHS Secretary Kristi Noem will be replaced, John.
Will, and also the president taking note of Markwayne Mullin's status as a former undefeated professional MMA fighter, also the only Native American in the Senate. Let's bring in Jackie Heinrich. She's at the White House. The timing of this, I guess, was a little bit of a surprise. We didn't expect it quite this soon, but it was certainly expected.
Well, you know, John, this president has been reluctant to shuffle his staff since really early in his second term when he moved National Security Advisor Mike Waltz over to Ambassador of the UN. Since then, he's kept all of his folks sort of in position, weathered whatever criticism comes their way. And Kristi Noem, the DHS Secretary, has faced a turbulent period in the last few weeks. Amid the fallout, the response to the ICE deportation campaign in Minnesota, some public statements that she made, and then most recently this week, her testimony on Capitol Hill, there were reports that her defense of her campaign, her ad campaign, $200 million in spending that prominently featured her sometimes on horseback, claiming that the president, according to these reports, had approved of that, reportedly upset him. He wasn't happy about giving the impression that he had sort of authorized that amid this broader administration effort to root out fraud. So she's being moved now into another role. The Special Envoy for the Shield of the Americas, a new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere that they're announcing on Saturday. The president's been, defensive of Kristi Noem for the last several weeks as she's faced questions about her ability to carry out her duties. He regularly pointed to the success closing the southern border, the fact that there have been no illegal immigrants caught and released into the interior of the U.S. for several months, the fact that overdoses and murders are at historic lows, and pointed to those successes to sort of boost her up and defend keeping her in place. But it seems like that testimony on Capitol Hill might have been a turning point. There were also some reports that FEMA funding that was stalled suddenly came through after questioning. And so this is a rapid development, of course, and something we didn't expect until potentially after the midterms. This is a strange time for the president to make that major of a shakeup. But there was, sort of the writing on the wall after he elevated Tom Homan, his border czar, to take a more prominent role in the ICE deportation campaign. It's well reported that there's been a long-standing rift between Homan and Noem about how this should be handled, sort of the firmer approach versus the softer touch that Homan went in and sort of cleaned up amid all of that public scrutiny over what transpired in Minnesota. Of course, the policy still stands. The president's policy and the goal of deporting any illegal immigrant in the country and certainly prioritizing those who are guilty of crimes does still stand. But the president faced questioning about how much he wanted to defend her. And it seems in the past few weeks that that patience might have worn out.
Yeah, a little bit more about his replacement. Seems to be how when President Trump made the announcement, the focus seemed to be on his record, Jackie. This is somebody, obviously, he's putting his full support behind in making this announcement.
That's right. And Markwayne Mullin is very well liked. He does a lot of TV. He's articulate and, certainly has a lot of relevant experience.
And I'm going to pause it right there real quick to talk about Markwayne Mullin a little bit. The leftists are saying, oh, he's a DEI hire. He never graduated. He never went to college. He, I think, only graduated high school or something like that. He dropped out of college just to go work in a plumbing company for his father. Yeah. And he turned that plumbing company into $1 million company. That seems to me like a man who knows what he's doing and knows how to run business. So it seems to me like he might be smart enough to actually know what the fuck he's doing when he comes to the job. I mean, this is a guy that was elected in the House of Representatives for 10 years, right? 5 terms, and then was elected to the Senate. Seems like he must know something, right? And the people on the left are stupid. Because they think that going to college is the only way to educate yourself. They think that that's the only way to educate yourself. They don't know what an autodidact is, which is a self-taught person. They don't know that anyone can pick up books and read books. You don't necessarily need to go to college to learn things. Unless you're trying to be a doctor, you're trying to be a neurosurgeon, you're trying to be something that requires you to go to college, right? That you can't just say, I'm going to open up a doctor practice because I read some books. That I could understand going to college for. But everything else, right? You don't need to go to college. You can learn from books. So I don't understand what the dig is and saying, well, he's a DEI hire. He's not qualified to do the job because he never graduated college. Yeah, you don't need to graduate college to be a particularly smart individual or an intelligent person. And it just goes to show that you guys who went to college aren't particularly smart, because if you were smart, you would know that. But I'm going to play some clips of some leftists celebrating that Kristi Noem got fired, as if the job doesn't continue, as if we don't get somebody else, and as if they made it happen. And then I'm going to wrap up the video right there.
I've been called a cunt, I've been called a bitch, but you know what I've never been called? A Republican.
I ain't gonna dance on nobody's grave, okay? Or metaphorical grave. I can't control it, though, if my feet spontaneously do the jig as I walk by. You know what I mean?
Well, guys, let me know what you guys think. That's all I got for this video. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends. And if you like what I do and you want to support my work, I have links in the description box below. You can buy me a coffee or send me a Cash App. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.